Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the FMSL podcast. I'm Cameron and we do have back with us this week our very, very amazing friend, Chrissy Rowe.
Yes. Guess who's back, baby? Guess who's back?
Back again.
Yeah, it's good to be back, mate. It's good to be back. Yeah, missed you.
we've
I'm
got
not gonna lie, I've missed you. You've been doing great the past
the
couple of weeks. Shout out to Craig coming on.
yeah.
I loved your little one man show as well. We'll have a little chat about that as the evening goes on. But yeah, how you
Yeah.
doing, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're just plowing on into the season. We had some drubbings in the cup, and then with the first round of the FMSL Cup, I did, you know, I did get through. It was a decent game. I got through against Monza,
Come
who
on.
we might see a little bit later on. This, Monza are up there. People are predicting big things of Monza, but I did take them to town in their own backyard. But yeah,
Great manager.
what can I say? It doesn't last forever.
No, I was on about
But
Monza. I was on about
oh,
Monza. Nah,
I need
I'm
an
joking.
ambulance. Um, but no, man. So obviously it's been 1 week since the window closed. Are you happy with the squad?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I go, oh, yeah. I wasn't here for the window one, was I? Yeah.
You
Again, I
in?
seem to disappear. I think the transfer window is so stressful. I can't bear to come on a podcast because I'm just gonna
Yeah.
have a meltdown. But yeah, we had a great window. A lot of ins and outs. I'd sold Victor Roque. I wasn't planning on doing it, but 160 million. You can't turn that money down. And I've got Reece James and Wahee to replace Victor Roque up front. So yeah, a
Yeah.
proper chaff for the window, mate.
Yeah. I mean, I did play
The
a
draft
friendly against
was
Anish, and Victor Roque scored, and I was like, doesn't he fucking play for Chrissy? I completely forgot that transfer had went through.
mm,
And I was like, I said to Anish, I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, yes, it's the first goal he scored in a game that doesn't matter. And I was just
yeah.
like, oh, well, what a shame. What a shame. But
I've been
yeah,
uh, I've been trolling him. I keep saying 160 mil fraud every time I see that he hasn't scored.
yeah. I mean,
Love
to
to
be
wind him
fair
up,
though,
bless him.
it's been one of those, hasn't it, where it's been
Mm.
you get you, you pay a lot of money for a player and you're going, oh, is this going to turn out great or is it going to bite me on the arse? It's one of those
Mm.
things. But
I think the thing is with internal players, with paying that much money, you. I mean, I think he was 168 CA. He ended up on when I sold him. I've just watched him develop so much, and I was really looking forward to using him in the Prem. But when that money, I mean, Wahee's 165, 166, still world class player on the game. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong, but yeah, I think it's one of them things. So what I got him for the first window after we finished second and third from bottom in League Two, it's definitely worth the money to recoup and get in. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm not down. I'm not down about it. Like I say, you just got to keep on moving. Sometimes you never expect the window to go that way. You never think it's gonna. You have your plans at the start, like right, I'm gonna play him up front. He's playing centre back. Before you know it, you sold them both, and you're trying to get replacements in. But I'm always making sure, yeah, that I've got a replacement lined up. Like I didn't confirm
yeah,
that deal with Vanish until I'd spoken to Darren, nailed down the final numbers, and as soon as he was happy, I said yes, Anish, just do it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, like you go your own way in the transfer window, and you always. Craig said this perfectly. He said he always buys young, and he has his way with it. And then as the seasons get on, you always improve, and that's always been a theme. This is the second time in a row that you went from League Two to Prem,
Mm.
so it's obviously working, and it obviously
Yeah.
has its moments where it could be where there's this player going to develop as well as we hope, or is do you know what I mean, or is he actually going to live up to the hype? Is he going to progress the way that he needs to? Is the sim going to work? So you've done well, and to be honest, you know, it's something that I am jealous of, and I would love to be able to do. So I'm going to guess that we are now going to get on to our lovely favourite, the preview of the league. So,
League has already started.
but
Kicking off with the Prem.
we are kicking off with the Prem. So, Chrissy, why don't you go through it?
Well. Obviously, as you can see, people watching on YouTube, Premier League table right there. 2 games in. First week, we only play one fixture. Well, 2 games, one fixture, so to speak, home and away legs. And yeah, that's how the table started. Hellas Veronas, as always, Mohamed's brilliant manager, sitting at the top with Pauk again. Lewis has had a brilliant year, a fantastic year from Lewis. He had a decent window. I know we got rid of Foden, but he got in Yamal and a couple of others in that deal. And then Mark Vallecano sitting third. Sorry, 1 win, 1 draw. Same with me and Abdul, Nonce and Trabzon Paul, respectively. And then the second half of the table. I mean, if you look at our predictions underneath, Cameron, this is concentrate on the relegation side of things. Salty Tina, can't pronounce it. Not going to try. Olympiacos, yeah, you know what I meant. Both obviously in the bottom half of the table at the moment. It's a tough one, you see, because I wouldn't write Craig off. He knows ball, as I like to say. But I just think the rest of the league is quite strong. Yeah, he's got Mbappe, fantastic player. I was talking to Abdul the other night after he played uh, Olympiacos, and he said he just couldn't stop Mbappe. It was just, you know what I mean? He had to overload to try and get the goals. I mean, you just can't. You can man mark them players all day long. The 190 players, you ain't man marking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 teams that have lost 2 games. I've got Athens to go down. Oliver, bless him, didn't have the best window I've seen him have, but hopefully he doesn't struggle too much. But yeah, our predictions are quite sure. I've gone for Trebs and Vallecano. Mark. I noticed neither of us have gone for Mohammed or Rashmat this season.
Yeah. I think it's time for some new blood.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I know you picked me to win the league, and I'm flattered. It would be a brilliant story if I was to go and win the Prem as well. I can't see it myself. There's a lot of good managers, a lot of strong teams in this league. I think I can hold my own. As you can see, I've played Leke, Simon. Shout out to Simon. I played him first game 1-1. Quite a tough game. I was attacking a lot more. I definitely had a lot more chances. Second game, 5-3. I think it was. Yeah, 5-3. It was just goal after goal. We were batting each other for ages. I actually went 3-0 up. I think 3-1 up, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he come back. He changed done a bit of a formation change. But yeah, it was a tough game. But I'm glad I put the 3 points. So going forwards, obviously, we're just gonna have to keep plodding along, mate. A lot of people have.
Yeah.
I said on the podcast before, I don't like the pressure, but see what we can do.
Yeah, love it, really. I mean, it would be the ultimate love story, really, to go from, third bottom in the first season and then, becoming, the champions and it would be great. You know what I mean? Like it would be. I think it's time that somebody's done back to back to back to back to back. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's time. Not to put the pressure, but it is time, Chrissy. So,
I mean, I've definitely, like you're saying, since that first season we had down in League Two, I was still finding what formation I wanted to use. We spoke about it before on the pod. Going from a 4-2-3 last season, I just couldn't get it to work. And as you know, I do draft young players at the start to try and build that. I don't want to say legacy dynasty. To try and build that team that will win, that will be champions of said league. But that second season in League Two, that last week was close. I mean, me, you, or Oliver could have gone up. So
As champions.
that was for me. That has probably been the toughest league to win.
Yeah.
No disrespect to League One or Championship, but I just think once I had my system, once I got the players I needed, it made life a lot easier.
Yeah, I think it did for yourself. You made changes and you did things to go on. But obviously, I've got you at the top, then I've got Abdul second, and Abdul's a wild card in all of this because you have got AZ, you have got PAOK, you've got Mark, you've kind of got Hellas as well in there. You've got a strong,
Tough league.
a strong
Tough.
league, and it's one of those where it's one loss defines the season, and so far, none of the top five have got that. None of the top five have had to. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting because that first loss for whoever loses first. I don't know what the fixtures are coming up this week, but whoever loses first out of POK and Hellas opens the door for yourselves as long as you don't lose, and then it's kind of it's a bit more of a game than anything else. And obviously, then going down, I've got Lecce, Salernitana, and Olympiacos. And the only reason I chose Olympiacos, right, is because that final week, I think, or the start of the transfer week, I'm going down to Leeds for a training thing, and I'm meeting up with Oliver. So I do not want my first interaction with them to be. I told you so.
I was right.
So yeah, no, but I think Oliver's got what it has to stay up. I think Craig, as much
He's a good manager,
has done well.
That's the thing.
His business is
it's
there.
Not.
It's hard because everybody in that league is a good manager. That's why he's there. And at this point in the cycle now, season 5, people are where they should be, and that is. No, but and that is just that's not every cycle. That is this cycle. This cycle of FM, at this specific point in time, everybody is in the position they should be. There is not one person. There's probably maybe 2 or 3 people unlucky to miss out on the Prem.
Yeah.
But there's nobody in there who doesn't deserve it.
No.
Do you know what I'm
and
saying?
I think
there's nobody in there who doesn't deserve it. So it's hard
that's
to pick,
the thing
especially
about
this league anyway.
Oh, completely. That's the thing about picking teams to go down. You're not saying, oh yeah, they're shit, they're going down. It's like, well, can you really see the likes of Lecce, the likes of AZ Alkmaar, myself, Vallecano, that can you see them teams going down? Not really. So you sort of narrow it down. It's not a case of they're shit and they're going down. It's a case of, well, I can't see the other teams. Do you know what I mean? It's
very hard.
You're not picking it. It is hard. It is hard. And like you say, everyone's
it's a real lottery.
in the Prem deserves so much credit for being in the Prem this season.
Yeah.
To be fair, penultimate cycle.
All of these predictions were done before the league tape, before any games were played. So for me, picking what I've picked and looking at the table so far, I think it's pretty accurate. But it's not exactly what I would want, but it's pretty accurate. I think Hellas are always going to be up there. I think probably I'm being more of a rebel and wanting you to do well than go against Mohammed. But I think, the Premier League is the Premier League. You cannot rule anybody out. Like even Salernitana there, they might have 2 losses, but they might win every other game.
Yeah, but I mean that was against Mohammed, I think. Anyway.
Yeah. So you never know. They might win every other game.
Yeah, you're saying about next week. I have Hellas Verona. and I also play
Ooh.
Oliver. So I mean, knowing versus and knowing FM, I'll probably end up going to get 4 6 points against Hellas and then losing to Oliver. Do you know what I mean? But then, like you say,
Yeah,
look, there's no easy games coming into this division.
not one easy
Like
game.
next week, Abdul's got Mark and Rashmat. Do you know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
Simon's got Rashmat and Mark. It's just yeah. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we'll keep everyone updated as the season goes on. Me and
yeah,
Cam
we
are going to
will.
try and get a lot more pods on for this penultimate season of FMSL.
Yeah, we are.
Um, yeah.
So
So
let's
yes,
move on.
let's move on to my old hunting ground, the championship. And there has been,
So
I'll just update. There has been two games played this evening. The Celta, Celtic, Celt Derby, if you want to call it.
Celtic.
Celta Vigo took 4 points. So they will currently sit in third. Celtic up to fifth now,
Yeah,
sixth. But yeah, still. So obviously, still a few games left to go. The big shocker for me this week was Girona and Rangers.
yeah.
But like you said
It's
before, we've both got Rangers to win the league.
we
I know,
don't do that lightly, do we? We don't do that lightly, and we don't. We're not saying we
and you
don't
all know how
like
we
Jake.
feel. We all know
We're
how we
not saying
feel
we
about
don't
Jake.
like Jake, but
Fucking hate him. I love him really. He's good for the
but
banter. I'll give him that.
it is there. He is there because on merit. To be honest, looking at this league, he deserves this. He deserves. I think he's what him, Anish, James Bond, and Niall. I think are the only people that I could say hand on heart that deserve to probably have a place in the Prem when they're on it. When they're on it, they're great. They're good managers. They know their stuff. Obviously, James came down last year. Girona came down, and Almeria came down, and I still think they all probably deserve to be in the Prem, in my own
Hmm.
opinion. But I think they're all good managers. Again, it's another league where it's a lot of managers. You know, you've got Jake, you've got three of the, you've got four of the, I think it's four of the Indonesian guys,
Yeah,
and you've got
Henry,
Niall,
Arshad, Rafaldi, and Monza manager Arif. Is it Arif?
Arif, yeah, Arif,
Arif, yeah.
yeah. I can't remember all their names, so I'm very
Well, I
glad
mean, you
you
look.
do.
I mean, to be
Off the
fair, I'll
fly,
put
yeah.
yeah, I'll put Celta Vigo to finish seconds.
Henry continuing the
He
rise.
Henry's done what we like to call a Chrissy row. He's done back to back in the leagues. He took over that team from Ballant, turned it around, done
Yeah,
brilliantly. But like you say, with Jake, if he just needs consistency. He needs
yeah,
to keep the consistency going into the final weeks. I think he took 1 point out of like 6 games. He'll probably come and he'll probably message me the day this pod's released and say, no, it wasn't that. But he done so well up until that. He was
yeah.
flying. Do you know what I mean? So if
I
he
thought
can
he
just
would
keep
go.
up the way he plays, keep consistent, he should win that league.
Yeah, I think there's some positives within that league as well, and obviously at this moment there's not been many games played, and this was only done at 7:30 when I finished all of these.
Yeah,
Um,
like I say, I think it was
so
literally
that was
just when I spoke
like,
to you.
yeah, they must have just there's still a lot of games left to be played in a lot of the other leagues as well. But I think looking at it at the moment, I think obviously Niall will actually pull off a decent season. Even though I have got to get relegated, I think he'll pull off a good season. I think again, this is another very good league. If it could go anywhere, I don't think anybody will be dead set bottom. I think Anish just had a poor week. From what I spoke to him about, it
Yeah.
was just
And
I lost, and that was that. There was
And I,
nothing
s- I
else to
said to
do.
him, don't worry about the first week. Like, I last FM 23, my first week in League One after being promoted. I lost to Taylor, 2 losses. Went on to win the league. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of points to be gained on. You shouldn't be too disheartened about the first week. because it's a long way to go. There's a lot of points to be taken on.
Yeah, there is.
And Anish is a good manager. I'll be surprised, really shocked if he doesn't turn it around soon.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, when I played him in the friendly and you look at the side and look at how he's got them playing, and you just go, yeah, that's like, again, you've just come down from the Prem, you were unlucky to go down.
Yeah, it was one goal, wasn't it? One goal.
One goal. You were lucky to go down. He's improved his team and the way he's got it set up. So I think he'll do well. Obviously, there's teams in there who are always going to be playoff fodder. I think Monza probably playoff fodder this year. I think Werder Bremen will be playoff fodder, to be quite honest. But obviously, looking at the rest of the predictions there as well, we've both got Rangers. You've gone Celta Vigo as runner-up. I've got Mineiro.
Yeah, for me, it was one of them two. It was one of them two.
Yeah.
Oliver built a fantastic squad at Mineiro. Unbelievable squad.
Yeah.
And Rafaldi's come and took on, and he's done well. He's got promoted. Like I say, he went toe to toe with Henry in the League One last season, and it was out of them two. I just went Celta just as I wanted to see someone else do what I did. But yeah, like I say, he's got 4 points on the board. I mean, like you say, there's loads to go yet. It should be close. And like shout out to Niall. We spoke about his transfer embargo he had last window. Sold a load of players which he didn't need to. It baffled me a little bit. Some of the players he did sell, but I mean, he still held his own in the cups.
Yeah, I think his policy for it is kind of just, I'm not probably going to get back into the Prem. If I sell now, I can make a lot of money, plus window money, plus future fees. I'm going to have 350 in the bank probably once everything comes in because I've not spent nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? I think he's gonna go on a big, massive spending spree, and he's in fair play to him, and it's the last season, so kind of he's done.
Penultimate.
Just if he hadn't have,
I would love it.
I would love it. Still,
oh yeah, it's still been the Prem.
Of these players, still been the Prem.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, there have been
but obviously we both got him to go down.
Yeah,
we both got Celtic, and then we both got a different last team. You've gone James, I've gone Lewis, and I managed.
It wasn't.
I managed for Lewis this year, this week, and honestly speaking, I'm kind of unsure at what I've done. But I don't think there's really anybody else that I could have put in there at the time who I would have thought.
That's the thing about picking these predictions and transfer in the 5th season. It's just I can't see Rangers, obviously Rangers Celta Vigo, but I can't see Mineiro, Monza, even Lewis. Lewis has been in the playoffs like 3 seasons in a row. All right, he's had a bit of a dodgy start, but he'll put it back. He always does. He's a good manager.
Yeah. Lewis had a really dodgy start. Not Cam, who was manager from. Lewis had a really dodgy start. That's what.
Well, I didn't want to say anything.
Well, it wasn't me. To be fair, though, right? I did play Mineiro, and the games were actually quite tight. Truth be told, there was a goal in each game. I think, if I remember rightly, it was hard. But it wasn't down to the management because I threw the kitchen sink at him the second game, and there was just nothing getting past that midfield two of Rice and Guimaraes. There was just nothing getting past them. I tried going out wide. I tried going, and I was messaging Lewis throughout, and Lewis can honestly say, probably hand on heart, you couldn't have done anything more. There was nothing I could have done. The games were tight. It was hard. I can't remember the score now, but one of the games was a stupid score. It was like 3-2 or something, or 4-2 or something, or 4-3 or something. And I'm just going, it was just goal after goal. There was nothing that could be done. But it is what it is. I think To be honest,
4-3 and 2-1. 4-3 and
4-3. I
2-1.
knew there was a
You know what I
4-3
mean?
or a 3, something
That's
like
not
that. But
bad, Cam. That's not
yeah,
bad
I mean,
against
to
that
be fair
squad.
though, as well, like I went up in them games as well. I think at one point, and I was like, "Yeah, I've got this in the bag." And then I played Andy in the cup for him, which has made my week next week very difficult because I should have, in a normal world, should have played my game first. If I'd won my game, kind of went, "Oh, Andy, we'll play a second, just then go see what happens," just to make it easier for me next week. But now I've got Lewis, which I didn't realise
Who's coming
until
back?
after I played.
Vengeance.
Lewis, who's coming back from holiday, and I'm like, I've
Back from
really
holiday.
done messed up. Yeah, haven't I? I've really done messed up, but it is what it is, you know.
Back from holiday, back with vengeance.
Hopefully not. So let's move on to
Here we go.
the Premier League. Sorry, not Premier League, League One.
Well, actually, wait there, Cam. Just had some breaking news come in. This is unbelievable. Talking about Almira and Union Berlin have just played a game. Would you like to know the score of this game, Cam?
I would.
It was Union Berlin 1, Almira 7.
Sorry. Say that again for the people in the back.
Union Berlin 1, Almira 7.
Oh,
I think, is it too late to change our predictions?
I don't think it is.
I mean, that is unreal. Holy
Is that just game one?
fucking shitballs. That's game 1. Holy shit. Right. Okay. Let me just, this is getting a shout out. I'll just let him know that he's getting a shout out live on the podcast. So,
Yeah.
as you can see, this is breaking news.
Shit.
Unbelievable.
That's class. That's mid. That's actually mid. Oh, man. You have muted yourself, by the way. I'll unmute you. I'll be nice. I can't unmute you because you've muted yourself.
I've done it.
There we
It's
go.
so exciting. It was so exciting. 7-1. Wow.
That's mental.
Wow. And we've both predicted him to go down. He's proper made us look a right pair of mugs.
Well, do you know what? We'll move on, and then Chrissy can update with any breaking news from
League One. Let's go see what you're up to, Cam. Let's go see how you got it this season.
This is League One, ladies and gentlemen. So, obviously, we have Connor Stuttgart in first. Obviously, he was first in the League Two. Was it 2 seasons ago?
Yes, and then the whole thing happened. Yeah,
and then there was a whole thing that happened there. So, it took him another year to come up, but he's here. And the 2 League Two boys have started stronger than everybody else, both off with 6 points. Obviously, Connor is battered whoever he played, Darren. And then Santos has obviously played Getafe, which, I mean, I'm surprised, but given the amount of red cards between both of their games, it's there's going to be a lot of suspension work.
Like you said earlier in the podcast, people are where they sort of should be. I mean, you look at that. So the two top teams who have come up from League Two have beaten the 2 teams that finished bottom of the championship.
But I think as well, there's always that promote. It sounds stupid because it's a game, and versus mode doesn't count stuff like that.
How dare you?
But you can see the new like the promotion bounce.
Yeah,
you can see the promotion.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because even if you go back to last year, and look at that. It's if you go to the last, the season 4 preview, I'm convinced we did that with a few games in, and it was Royal Antwerp and Celta Vigo top and second. So that shows you that there is this sort of, even in this league, there is a promotion bounce straight off the bat, and you have said obviously them 2 teams have come from league. From the championship as well, so it might just be a continuation of things. Now, obviously,
shout out to you, Cam. Shout out to you, mate.
Yeah,
I know. All right, 1 win, 1 loss, but against Reims, against Joseph, who has a phenomenal team, phenomenal team.
Well,
play,
let me
mate.
tell you a little story about that. So he has
Story time.
Tio Hernandez. Yeah, it's Tio Hernandez, doesn't he? Left back. I think it's
Yeah.
Theo or it's Theo Lucas. I can't remember.
French player. Frenchman.
It's one of the brothers. Anyway, so he was suspended. So Joe
No, he has
obviously
Lucas. He has Lucas.
Sorry,
You got him in
Lucas.
the draft, yeah.
So he had Lucas Hernandez suspended for one game. He left him out the first game. Second game, he brings him back in. He forgets he's got Chouameni on his bench, who is also suspended. Joe was not happy bunny in that second game when he found out. He was not happy at all. He obviously wanted some justice. Didn't get it, but he wanted some justice. But overall, I think Joe's team is one of the best in the league by far. Just looking at it on pure paper, the only player I would worry about for Joe, which prevailed in the second game, regardless if he had Tushimeni or not, because that could have been an injury, could have been whatever. Regardless if he had him or not, it was Chris Webber. He's regen striker.
The old Nugent.
Was just the. It was painful to watch because I've switched now to sort of a 3-4, like a 3-4 kind of thing. It's kind of like, I play three.
I love when you describe your tactics.
Yeah, it's a bit fucked.
It's like a 3-4-1-2-1-8.
I'm still working it out. Yeah, it's kind of like a 3-4-2-1 kind of thing, and I have Matthias de Ligt, Andres Christensen, and Manuel Akanji across my back three. First game, I got outdone by Vinicius and everyone. Vinicius went off after 7 minutes injured, second leg, which helped me enormously. But the problem with Joe was he didn't have somebody big up top. He didn't have somebody that could run in and get the goals. It was kind of, they were getting man marked out, and he obviously has Foden playing as a shadow striker, on like sort of the right hand side of that attacking kind of thing, and it just didn't work for him that second game. I don't know if it was, just down to the way it was, and
versus.
But Joe kind of showed that second game where I've came back and I've done a bit better. Obviously, it was 2-0. I think it was the second game. I kept a clean sheet. Charati was solid. But just before I scored that second goal, and I kid you not, I just took off. I was, when you make the tactics and it hasn't went through yet. Yeah. It was a corner, and I thought, right, I'm going to just change my things up here because it's not working. I'm only 1-0 up, not working. So I was going to bring off Kane, De Ligt, Odegaard, and somebody else. I can't remember who else I was bringing off. And I was like, right, I'm going to change this all around. The corner comes in, and we score from the corner. I have never clicked that cancel button so fucking fast in my life. Because I thought, this is work now. This has worked. This is great. This is working. Let's keep it like that. I'm not conceded yet.
I'm quite superstitious of things like that. So say if I've just done some tactical changes and then a highlight comes up and it says a little box in the corner that says you can cancel it or whatever. I always, as soon as the highlight starts, I'll cancel it and go back and do it again. If it doesn't get a goal, something doesn't change. And then obviously, but then if at the end of the highlight, it will say, "Do you want to cancel it?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the middle, yeah. I always do that. I'm a bit weird like that. I don't know what it is. I just like, nah.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit like, obviously playing versus a lot now. You can kind of tell when things are going to happen, but I'll tell you what, this is just, I will move on to the rest of the league, but this is one very quickly. I did play Monza in the Cup, obviously, and it was 4-1, I think it was. And I'll use the same formation, and it's something I'm trying to perfect with the players I've got, and I may not have enough defensive midfielders for the tactic to work, so I've changed things around. I had Odegaard and Tonali as a central midfield partnership in that two, instead of two defensive midfield players. And I changed it up at half time to try and get a bit more of our players. And I was just about to change it. Funny enough, I was just about to change it. and they had a throw in down their side of the pitch. The ball got knocked up. Tarati gets it outside of his box. Every player touched it. Every player had a pass. It was absolutely beautiful. Do you know when you just go, like, I knew as soon as that in passing started going, that's going in. And it passed up. It got all the way to the left back who put one right top in. Like, literally slammed across goal, right top in. That happened in the Premier League. That's goal of the season. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the real life Premier League, that happened. If, like, Newcastle did that and Lewis Hall put one in top ins. Do you know what I mean? That's a goal of the season straight there.
Class.
But my biggest issue with that is I was about to change everything, but I've learned now that you've got to be a little bit more patient. And I think that will, if I can get that through, maybe I'll stay up. But I'm finding it a little bit jittery at the moment. I think once suspensions eventually kick in, I think it's going to... Once my suspensions kick in, I've got to use my squad. That's where crunch time happens, because I seem to be picking up a lot of yellows considering I don't have any kind of tackle and stuff on. But yeah, obviously just running down the league dead quickly. We've obviously got a lot.
Yeah, look, you're saying there's a lot of games that haven't been played. I think, like you say, there's only been a handful we spoke about. As you just said about Anderlecht staying up, getting relegated. Let's talk a little bit about our predictions at the bottom there, Cameron. We'll start with relegation. We both have Anderlecht. Is that just a little bit of a reverse psychology thing there?
No, I think, to be honest, my head's a little bit all over in my personal life at the moment. So I don't know if that's kind of playing a part a little bit. And I've kind of
You need to stop falling downstairs. That's what you need to do.
But I think, in all seriousness, like I've got a good overall squad, and everybody, like Joe was joking with us, saying I'm taking screenshots of all your players to make sure you're not cheating and going back and checking all that kind of stuff. Because I've got a 4.5-star team. I don't know many in this league that has got 4.5-star teams.
Yeah, me as well.
And you got one as well. But I think it's just because I've built this year.
You should have. You've built a decent squad.
Oh yeah, I've built a good squad. I think it was something like I've got like 5 players who are under 143. I think one of them's a goalkeeper. One of them's a goalkeeper. One of them's Wan Bernat. One of them's like a young kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's literally wide back for that. He's there to collect a medal at the end of the season, saying, "Well done, thank you for your participation in the league." And then
fuck off.
Fuck off. But yeah, that's kind of like, do you know what I mean? I've got some players who are going to retire at the end of the year, like Horn, the goalkeeper, obviously, I just mentioned. A few others as well who are going to retire, who I'm just going to replace for free transfers. There's no point buying people at that point. Do you know what I mean? Unless you really want to build a super team. But I think I'm in a good place. But I think with the games and how strong the league is, I think I've got Getafe next week. I want to say I do, maybe don't.
Yes, if we look at the rest of our predictions, so we've both gone Augsburg from Darren.
Yeah.
He did all right. That was a good window, but I just think he might struggle a bit in the league.
Yeah, I've never actually played against him, I don't think, so it's kind of one I'm just picking.
Do you know what? He was so close to getting to the Prem this season. I was in League One. He's so close. I think he lost in the playoff final, or he was in the playoffs. But yeah, so then you've gone Craig Getafe, and I've gone a bit controversial with my pick. I've gone Besiktas. Courtney. Now, Courtney's a great manager. I can't fault him. He's got Haaland. He did get him firing towards the end of the season. But again, it just comes down to you look at the table, look at the teams there. And yeah, he unfortunately just didn't make the cut. But I always get proved wrong. But I hope I don't get proved wrong with my prediction for champion is our good friend. I've gone for Freiburg, Magnus.
Yeah, as much as I love Magnus, I think as much as I love Mark, and he knows I do, he knows I love him, but I think Santos will get there. I think Santos will win it. I think Kev.
Oh yeah, I think
Kev just had a bad season when he went down. He just could not. He couldn't do right for wrong. You know what I mean? It was hard for him, but I think he's turned it around now. I think He's on the up. His signings are clicking finally. So I reckon he'll win the league, and then I think Reams will be second, to be quite honest. I think Joe's got a wonderful team once he works out his striking situation. To be honest, I think he's got better players to maybe... I think he could play Vinicius Jr. up front, which I think would be better for his team. But then it's who he puts on the left-hand side is that issue. But he could put Leonardo Fernandez there and still keep his midfield three of Tchouaméni and stuff like that. So it's hard. It's a hard decision for him. But personally, if I was Joe, first thing I'd be looking at is, can I actually play? Oh, I might message him this. I might not say it on that. Actually, I'm gonna not say it. But I think he could do something a little bit more wacky with the fullbacks he's got. And I think he could press a little bit more. I think he could do a little bit more going forward down the wings. But sometimes you have to change things up. I think Joe's very rigid in his ways. But if he changes things up, I think he'll finish second. And obviously, we have both got me to go down. I don't know if that was just you taking the piss or being serious or not. But for me, it's kind of very, very serious. It's kind of, I got lucky last year. I got so lucky that Danny was like, that last game of the season, that Danny was kind of, he wasn't arsed anymore. He was in the playoffs. He didn't care. He was in the playoffs. And I got one win, and that made me safe. And then obviously that next win put him even further into a better position. And then we played each other in the playoff final, and I lost to a last-minute goal or something like that. So it was what it was.
Well, he went up. He's not here, so
he went up. But do you know what? He went up, but I was seriously lucky not to get relegated. Like, I don't think I'm the only one who's seen that going, yeah, I'm getting relegated, yeah, and I know I am. And if it wasn't for Jimmy being Jimmy, I don't think I would, still be in League One. But it is what it is. So hopefully I prove everybody and myself wrong. But who knows? I've got a super squad, but I don't know if I can get everybody.
Yeah,
if I can get everybody
right.
firing, if I can get everybody firing the way I want them to get firing,
you'll be right, mate.
If I can't, I'm a bit
be right.
Up the wazoo with no bottle. So let's move on to League Two very quickly. Up the wazoo,
man.
So obviously we have got our rock and roll star at Strasbourg. Coman is top of the table with Anguro. He's his friend alongside him. And there's a shock there. There's a shock that I've just clocked that none of were predicted to finish bottom or go up in third is Craig. That shocked me, that actually. I didn't think he's got more points than he did in the whole of last season, has he?
The team that I've predicted to go first and second currently bottom and second from bottom.
I was going to say, it's early days, boys. It's early days.
Yeah,
it's early days.
That's it. Hopefully they turn it around.
But yeah, the rest of the league looks a bit. It's where there's certain people who should be in a higher league than they are, than they should be. Do you know what I mean? I think probably your Dan and your Ross should be in a higher league. Obviously, it's not down to Alan that he's obviously took over a team in League Two, but Alan should be in a Premier League side.
Yeah.
Obviously,
even though the team that he left is still in League Two. Just saying.
Who did he leave?
Usana.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Osasuna. Yes, nailed it.
Yeah, you got that eventually, Christopher. We'll forget that.
Thank you.
But yeah,
I can't wait to the future, and we're trying to do different teams from around the world, and I'm going to bring out absolutely ruining all these team names and players' names. It's going to be brilliant. People come on the pod just to watch that. People come on the pod just to watch us absolutely murder people's names.
Yeah. And then obviously we've got Bologna in there. We've got River Plate, Copenhagen. Andy, who started off poorly, considering how much we've bigged him up in the last couple of podcasts. and he's sitting down there. Obviously, there's only 2 games in, so I'm not going to give you too much, Andy, I promise.
Yeah.
And then obviously Boca, and then bottom is Mainz. It's going to be a minefield, I think, for Mainz to get back up there. I think Boca is more realistic with Alan's kind of style. I think he's probably just come up against, a better system and what have you. But I believe in Alan, and I know Alan very, very much dislikes me, but I believe in you, Alan. And I know you don't want to hear this, but I believe in you. And so does Chrissy. So
yeah, good luck.
That
Yeah,
must
good luck
count
to
for
you all.
something. But obviously, I've got Bologna in second, who are doing a bit better than Mainz there. So that is something.
Yep,
and then we're both gone for somebody different We're both gone for somebody different in last place. So they would be collecting FMSL's wooden spoon. I believe it was Craig. Was it Craig last year or was it Steve?
It was Craig. Yes,
Craig. Yeah,
because
Craig
because he drafted Leroy Sané. But then you say the wooden spoon. I like to call it the golden tickets.
Wooden
you get
spoon,
the first
wooden
pick,
ticket.
baby.
Craig's probably
baby.
using the wooden spoon to make some food for his TikTok. But we'll love it, Craig.
Wraps.
But mate, the Rock got his back. But I mean, it's looking good. To be honest, I think it's looking good for them people who've got 6 points.
I spoke to Simon. Simon? I don't know what I said Simon for. I spoke to Steve during the window. I can't remember if I signed someone from him or not. But there was a point where he was. I spoke to him a few times actually, and he was just obviously come back in, took over Copenhagen from Gerb. Was it?
Yeah, Gerben.
Gerb, yeah. And he was just every window he's just signing players, selling players. He was just mixing up, trying to have a laugh. I knew that he wouldn't be too fussed about it, so I thought you never know, he might finish bottom. But I tell you what, mate, Shane ain't gonna be happy with you.
Well, do you know what? I like annoying Shane, so it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, good. Fuck Shane.
He wouldn't sell us Fernand Torres, so I had to go.
Yeah, good.
Fuck Shane. So
fuck Shane.
He wouldn't sell us Fernand Torres. So and he was saying he wanted Gavi and all this stuff. So what I did was I then went to Ross when Ross put João Felix on during the England game and went, I'll give you 70 plus 30 plus Seco Fofana. He went 75, 25 and Seco Fofana. And I was like, deal. I regretted that so much the day after the final. Really did. Right. It's the one transfer I regret because I didn't need him to play the system. I needed a DM. I didn't need an AM. But it is what it is. Yeah. I have got fodder for next season to be able to pass around. And if I lose an attacking player, I've got João Felix. It doesn't really matter. If I lose João Felix, I've got money. So it just
doesn't matter, mate.
It's a win-win. So obviously, let's move on quickly to the cups. Yeah. Obviously, Copa del FMSL. I love that. That's the new name for it. That's the new name. I don't care what name it is. That's
Copa del FMSL. I like that.
Yeah, it rhymes, doesn't it? You've went for PAOK, and I've went for Athens. We've gone for 2 Premier League teams there, so something different.
Okay. Now, yeah, that's fair enough. I can see, I can see that. I can see it. I think they're both good teams. Definitely be up there. Wouldn't write either of them off. And then we've gone for the Heenan Cup. I've gone for Reims. Joe, I think he is gonna end on a high. I think he needs to win another final. And you've gone for the Cup King.
I've gone for our mate Magnus. Yeah, I had to go for Magnus, man.
See, we've been bigging him up quite a lot on this pod. Usually we're slagging him right off.
Yeah, well, do you know that's what happens? He's good. Do you know what's very interesting about this? So I've just clicked there. We've got 2 Prem teams and 2 League One teams.
Yeah.
Just clicked there. We've got 2 Prem, 2 League One. I wish that was me, but it will never be. It is okay. You know, I'll live forever somewhere
I would
else.
have laughed. I would have laughed if you'd picked yourself to get relegated
Mhm.
and win the Healing Cup.
A
That's
bit
what
like
Anish
Wigan.
did.
That's what we
Yeah, do
want.
the Wigan. The Wigan.
No, I don't want to ever get relegated. I don't want to get relegated, but
Nah.
I'm looking at it and looking at it. But so this is kind of coming to the end now. It's been a blast. Having you back, it's been good, man. It's been
Yeah.
we've
No,
been turning up so it's been fucking class, man.
we'll
We need
get
to do
back
this
on
a
it
bit
next
more.
week. Next week we will. We'll get back into rhythm
Yeah.
things. Obviously we need to hit that big episode 20 number, and I want to go further. I think obviously whatever happens in the FMSL regarding with verses coming to FM25. Obviously, if you're listening now, you haven't heard Cam's pod from last week, please go and listen to it. At the moment, I think a lot of the managers are trying not to think about it, but in the back of my head, it is there. But we can see how it goes. We've built a fantastic community. A lot of friends that we've made here that I think obviously down the line, hopefully Miles decides to get versus back in and we can restart the league. We've talked about trying different aspects. We've talked about staying with FM24. We've talked about having loads of save files. It's just so many things because we want to keep the league going because we love it. We love it. We're here to
Yeah,
make
we
the
love it.
podcast because we love it.
Why we
But look, me and Cam spoke. We're going to keep the podcast going. We're going to come with other things. We're going to come with football manager stuff. We're just going to keep it going because we love doing it. Yeah. Just thanks for listening.
Yeah, we've got some you know some little bits of foundation plans that we've got going on, and we'll be using the channel for other things, other kind of
Yeah.
football manager
But look,
content.
yeah.
So
But this,
it's going to be one that you need to keep your eyes peeled on, and
we ain't going nowhere.
we're going nowhere. We're going nowhere on a train. I'll tell you that. We're going nowhere.
What do you reckon, then, Cam? Should we try? You want to try and get someone on next week, or maybe
we'll see who's available. We'll see who's available. I've had a few people badgering us, but we all know who we really want to see. Want to see the back duel. That's what we want to see. We want to see back duel. See Statman.
or Alan.
That's what
Alan
we
would
wanna
be funny.
see. Alan will not come within 50 yards of me, regardless.
Wouldn't be allowed this close. Wouldn't be allowed that close.
Yeah.
That way.
But yeah, you'll not let me within 50 yards of him. But yeah, we'll have it all sorted for next week, man. But Chrissy, I do want to thank you for coming on with your Cannon Fosters. I know you've been a busy man, but it's nice to have you back.
Nah, it is great to be back, mate. And like I say, mate, always here. Just keep doing this thing, mate. We love it. Cheers, mate. Thanks for having us.
Say that, man. So this is the end. Thank you very much for watching. It's going to be interesting coming into this going into the season. Obviously, you know, I hope not everybody's predictions are correct. Otherwise, I am definitely going down. But we'll all see. Time will tell. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you somewhere farther down the road. Take care.